2-on-1 chance here for the Eagles. Lonergan now, one-timer, shot, and a score on the shorthand. And it's gonna be the captain. Check it out here. The benefit of transition here. Lonergan, once again, a one-timer chance, and Kenzie Kent just finds the opening past Boudelier.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the episode of Just Say Guay. I'm your host, George Guay. Today, I'm joined by Kenzie Kent, who is a assistant coach at Harvard women's lacrosse and has a big story about her collegiate career. Kenzie, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so how have things been over the last few months? I know you had a shutdown with everything with COVID. Now you're coaching. How have things been?
Yeah, it's been a little slow. I mean, this fall we got to work with our freshmen on campus, but the rest of the team was at home working remotely. And yeah, it's been pretty slow. Haven't had a lot going on.
Okay, so as we get more into that, let's backtrack a bit. Tell us about where you're from and what was the sports culture like there growing up?
I'm from Norwell, South Shore, Norwell, Massachusetts. I have 5 siblings and a bunch of cousins, and we all live in Massachusetts. And the sports culture in our family alone is it's a huge part of the way I grew up, and also just the South Shore in general. Everyone's playing sports. All my neighbors played sports. It's all I did growing up outside my house, street hockey, backyard football, whatever it was. So yeah, the sports culture was very dominant in the South Shore.
So growing up in Boston, there's a lot of great schools in the area like BC, BU, Northeastern, Harvard. Providence is not too far away, UMass Lowell. You got a lot of options. What ultimately led you to choosing Boston College?
My recruiting process was pretty long. I took my time. I didn't really know at all what I wanted to do. It came up on me pretty quickly. And at that time, I was really into hockey and also really into lacrosse. And I was just enjoying playing both sports, playing club for both. And ultimately, I just wasn't ready to give one of the sports up. And BC was just the best option in terms of that. But also just the coaching staff at BC for both hockey and lacrosse. And their will to win a national championship is something that really attracted me to their programs. Going into college or during my recruiting process, I definitely wanted to win a national championship. But then the other part is academics is huge in my family. So that led me to BC. Academics are great. The athletics are amazing. And I have a huge family and I wanted to be closer to them.
Yeah, it's such a great school. And as an athlete, the championship or bust standard, that's something great you want to be a part of. So how does one become a 2-sport athlete in college? In your recruiting process, was that something that you had to tell each coach that, this is something that I have interest in?
Actually, no. I honestly just thought I was going to play lacrosse. So throughout the entire process, I was talking to all lacrosse schools. And then in BC was one of the lacrosse schools I was talking to. And it just so happened when I went on my visit to BC, the hockey coaches wanted to set up a meeting with me. And I know that's really how it happened. And then after that, I talked to a few more hockey schools where I could have played lacrosse at too, but this is just the best fit at Boston College for sure.
Yeah, and it definitely worked out. So what was the sports culture like at Boston College? You got a few teams there, some that you played on that can compete for a national championship every year, and other teams like, football and basketball who can really make some noise in a very competitive ACC.
Yeah, I mean, just being in Conti Forum, that's where all of our locker rooms are. And it's really cool because all of our locker rooms, I think this is a little bit different than other schools, but we're all under the same roof. So I'm in a hallway. It's the hockey locker room. Lacrosse is right next to it. Soccer's right there. Field hockey, volleyball. And then down the hall, it's basketball. And football is in a different building, but everyone is just so tight knit. All the athletes are very, very close. And I think But like what made us all so close is just the competitive edge that we brought. In every aspect of life, everyone was just so competitive. And I think just having those types of friends and being surrounded by that really pushes people to the next level.
Yeah, that edge really pays off at that school. So, how does one stay motivated to play two sports? Especially in winter at Boston College, your teams go really far into the season, and then before you know it, it's lacrosse season. How do you keep that motivation going?
Yeah, for me, I thoroughly enjoyed what I was doing every day. I think a huge part of that is just my coaches and teammates. I had so much respect for them on both teams, and they made it like so much fun to going to practice and games every day. And um, if I told myself at the beginning of this, if at any point I was too tired or too not enjoying it as much as I would like to be, I said I was gonna, hang one up and just focus on one. But throughout all 5 years, I really just enjoyed every single day of it, and my teammates and coaches motivated me the most.
Yeah, it's a big factor for sure. So, obviously, one of the big things in success in college athletics is having great facilities. Can you elaborate on how the facilities at Boston College influenced your play? And is that a big factor when you're touring places on recruiting trips?
Oh yeah, it's a huge factor. I think at BC we were very lucky. We had the bubble, and also the Fish Field House, which is new. It's a football facility, but we were able to use both. So obviously being in New England and the cold weather, that really played a huge role in our preparation for the season. And I don't think our team would be as good as we were without those facilities for sure. And I think, yeah, recruiting wise, that's a huge factor that goes into convincing someone to come to a school.
Okay, so you're also named ACC Female Athlete of the Year during your collegiate career. Can you elaborate on what that meant, especially in such a competitive conference?
Yeah, it meant a lot. I was honestly pretty shocked when I heard that. The ACC is just so dominant in every sport, and I played hockey and lacrosse, obviously, but I think those are probably the two least popular sports in the ACC. Maybe lacrosse is up there, but I thought it was just like really special because there's so many amazing athletes throughout the entire ACC and other very popular sports. So I thought it was amazing, and obviously I credit my coaches and teammates for that.
Yeah, so you also named a two-sport captain as well on top of playing. So obviously there's challenges and rewards of that, but was there something about that experience that surprised you?
No, I mean, it was super special. I think I guess the biggest challenge or the most I took away from it and the most I learned was just because I was on two different teams, two completely different, cultures and coaches and coaching staffs, and just learning how to work with each of the coaching staffs in the most efficient and best way. And also, with two different cultures, you have to lead just a little bit differently. So I think I learned a lot from having to switch over. Each year I had to switch from one completely different team to the next, and just being able to adapt quickly, I think was the best thing about it. One of the best things about it.
Yeah, I really got to give you credit for being able to pull two off. It's pulling off just one is amazing. So, what was the rivalry like between you and Boston University? Because when I see rivalries in sports, Red Sox, Yankees, Bruins, Canadians, Michigan, Ohio State, they're separated by a bit of distance. Some states, even countries, but BC and BU, you guys can literally walk to school to school. Did that make it more intense?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that was the biggest rivalry I've ever been a part of for like by a landslide. And it was amazing. Our favorite game every year was always the BU game. And for some reason at Walter Brown Arena, which is the rink that the women's team plays in, it's a little smaller. So when you played there, it really felt like the the stands were filled, and it was always incredibly intense. It meant a little bit more on the schedule every year. And it was funny. We ended up becoming pretty close friends with a lot of the girls on the team throughout the year. So it was a friendly competition, but once we got on the ice, things changed.
Yeah, it's amazing how you guys were able to, work that out. So can you elaborate on how you became an assistant coach at Harvard?
Yeah, so I didn't really know what I wanted to do after college. After my 5th year, I had to finish my master's that summer. So I was still just focusing on school after I graduated. And during the WPLL, one of the Harvard assistants, actually, Becca Block, was on my team. And this was probably around June last summer. And she was just like, hey, would you ever want to coach? And I was like, I actually don't know. I've been thinking about it. And so then I got an interview just to see how it went. And I got the job, and it was awesome. My mom coaches. She's been coaching her entire life. And I think that had a lot to do with it as well.
Yeah, and it seems like it's working out so far, but can you elaborate on some of the benefits of being, a younger coach on the coaching staff, especially at the college level, being able to relate to the players?
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely really special. I had a coach my 5th year, Kayla Trainer, and she was really close in age with us. And I really wanted, starting off at Harvard last year, I really wanted to, be as much like her as I could be, because I know how much she impacted all of us. And being able to relate, not only just to the style of play, because, it develops every single year, but also just, what we have going on in school, social life, everything like that. So that was really important. And also just, I get to learn from two of the best coaches, players in the entire world, and Devin Wills and Becca Block. And I feel really lucky to be able to do that. And they give me, a lot of confidence when I'm coaching. And I think that's what makes it really special, is just how much they trust me.
Yeah, it's a great foundation. Yeah, it's a great foundation to have. So can you elaborate on how the facilities at Harvard are going to benefit your players, especially during, times like these where, players really got to, hit the wall and train and anticipate anything that could really happen this year?
Yeah, no, for sure. We at Harvard, we have a bubble too. They have a great locker room. We have a bunch of resources that are readily available for them. And I think it's extremely important for them as players to develop and have the availability that they do at Harvard.
Yeah. So last question, obviously winter sports have really hit the ground running. Basketball's going, even hockey. Hockey East is back. What's the word on spring sports? Is it the same protocols? Should we expect to see anything different? Or obviously no fans too?
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna just be school to school, honestly. Whichever protocols that each school has is really the ultimate factor that goes into what the season's gonna look like. And I think a lot of people are still waiting on what the protocols are gonna be. I think some leagues are gonna be different than other leagues, and I don't know. I just really hope there's a season just for everybody. It's spring is the best. It's the best season. So.
Well, I hope there's a season 2. And Kenzie, I appreciate you for coming on my show. And best of luck with Harvard women's lacrosse.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.